Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Indiandotnet where we are going to discuss another interesting service which is AWS Transcribe. Okay, so in this particular session we are going to understand what is AWS Transcribe, how to use it, what are the different case studies, and we will look a quick demo. Okay, so without wasting further time, let's see what is the agenda for the day. Okay, so here is the agenda. We will discuss about AWS Transcribe service, then pricing, obviously, then different use cases and demo. So you might aware like in the last session we discussed about AWS Poly, what is the AWS Poly service and how it is useful and what are the different use cases. So similar way we have in this entire series of AWS introduction services, we are going to pick up each individual services. We'll show a quick overview, use cases, pricing point, and the demo. Okay, so let's start with what is AWS Transcribe. So you might heard about AWS Transcribe or transcribe software earlier as well. So basically what AWS Transcribe is doing, it is converting your MP3 or whatever the sound format file is uh, present, like which AWS allow each it take those file MP3 file formats and streaming, and then convert those files into text. Okay, and those texts are like coming through automatic speech recognition technology system. Means there are a lot of uh, efforts done by AWS to make sure whatever the MP3 to text conversion is going on, that is proper. Okay, so it's a very like highly um, commendable job from the AWS team that whatever you are speaking, it is converting into the text. Okay, and as I mentioned, like there are various uh, file format is supported by this AWS transcript services like MP3, MP4, WAV file, FLAC file. So those are possible formats, and with those format you just pass those files and there is option like on runtime streaming also you can do convert into text at runtime, so that is also possible. So you might be thinking, okay, we have seen a lot of other services, but what is good in it, means what are the extra benefit in this AWS transcribe. So obviously where like if Amazon is putting a lot of efforts, so they are providing you some add-ons things as well. For example, like in the poly which we discussed, like there are a couple of important feature like auto language detection. So this transcript service is also provide you auto language detection, and it support like 40 plus different language. So for example, if you are passing your mp3 file in Hindi, English, Urdu, French or Spanish or any supporting files, so you do not need, and you are not aware like what language that file contains, so you do not need to worry about, because AWS transcribe service is capable enough to identify that language. Okay, so this is one of the thing. Now apart from this, if you see the point which I mentioned is like content removal. So what it means, for example, there are several things like in your mp3 file which is related to personal information. There might be your ssn, there might be your password, there might be credit card, debit card number, bank account number. And when this mp3 file is converting, you want, like, those things should not be converted or in the text. Okay, so with the Amazon Poly services, it is quite possible that Amazon AWS Transcribe services, it is quite possible that those things is not touched. Means AWS Transcribe services has rich logic that it will hide all the unwanted personal information, for example ssn, as I mentioned. So those things would not be available. Okay, now let's move to another interesting point which is mentioned here, like detect different speaker labeling in your audio. For example, what it means, suppose there is a dialect going between multiple people in your mp3 file. For example, a salesperson is talking to the client, or might be doctor is talking to patients, or nurse. So this transcribe service has capability to label the speakers, like speaker 1 is saying what, speaker 2 is saying what, and this is with high accuracy and confidence, because this ML model is tested by AWS uh, developers multiple times, and they created a robust enough uh, model. So it is like very much proved and accurate. Okay. Apart from this, like there is possibility, you might be thinking there might be some custom vocabulary which you might to uh, add. So that is quite possible, you can add your custom vocabulary in this AWS transcribe. Okay, now let's understand further with the AWS transcribe how to identify, or how to what would be the first step. So let me show you one thing. So you just go on Google and search here AWS transcribe. So you will get this particular page. So here, whenever you are going to work on any AWS services, you should have access to this console. Okay, so if you do not have, as I mentioned earlier as well, there is like a 12 months 60-minute speech to text for 12 months, or AWS free tier is available, so you do not need to pay anything of from your pocket for learning. Just try it. And now, for example, we are discussing about Amazon transcribe, so let's assume we have created already our account. Just click on the get started with transcribe. Okay, so you will get this page here. Let me show you this. So on the right side you will see a different menu objects, like transcribe job, custom language model, vocabulary filtering, real-time analytics. So we will discuss those things real quick after some time, but just give you an example. For example, if I start uh, s- speaking right away, what would happen? So let me say hello. Okay, let me allow first. So suppose we enabled this transcribe, real-time transcribe, and you will see the whatever I'm speaking, it is typing s- real quick. Okay, so my dialect is related to uh, Indian, native Indian English. So you might see lot of things here which might be not correctly pronounced, or some other challenges, but so far so good. Like whatever I'm speaking, it is typing as is. Okay, so this is the coolest example which I shown here right away in front of you. Okay, so you do not need to worry how to deal with it, because it's in front of you. You just try it, and it's super easy. You do not need to worry how to integrate in the C sharp or any your code language, because that is also quite possible. You will find uh, a n number of solution with with the AWS SDK libraries. Okay, so I'm stopping this streaming right now. So you have seen so far, like whatever I talk, I was speaking at real time. It is converting those texts into those language dialect into text. So we get the transcribe output. Okay. Now the next thing which in our agenda all the time related to pricing, right? So we most of the time we need to understand what is the pricing point. Okay, so to determine what is the pricing of this AWS Transcribe, again you can go to AWS Transcribe and search for pricing. Okay, so you will get this pricing page here. If you see, as I mentioned in my previous sessions as well, for a real quick trial, you should not need to worry, because you are getting a free 12-month trial from any cloud services, whether we are talking AWS, Amazon, Azure, uh, Alibaba Cloud, GCP. You will get uh, n number of options for uh, free services access. Before going further, I would like to ask, like, are you people able to hear me properly? Anyone can ping and just uh, post in the chat, comment if you are able to hear me properly. Hello. With the assumption like there is no response, it means you people are able to hear me. Okay, so we will continue further. So yeah, so Vivek is saying yes. Thank you, Vivek. So there are like different volumes and minutes are available, but as I mentioned, it is mostly like if you work for like uh, this trial version, 60 minutes per month is totally free. So I would suggest, highly recommend you just go and use it. And here is the standard streaming price. And if you search here, it is like as I mentioned earlier as well, according to different region there might be slightly a price difference. But let's see how much is for the Virginia. So it's a 250,000 volume minute per month, and it's a 0.024. So it's reasonable price, I can say. And here is the calculation which you can find. So I am not going into deep dive into the pricing part, because the main motto of this session is to give you firstly the glimpse how to use it, and then the later, if it is suitable for your need, you can uh, go for the pricing aspect as well. So next thing, as we always discuss, is use case. So what are the different use cases of it? And without wasting time, let's jump into the use cases. Okay, so the first use case which we can think about, like you might heard about, like medical transcription. There are a lot of outsourcing job is going for this. Like people are uh, in the US, like when doctor says on the something on the phone and prescribe something to the patient, or might be nurse, they will send the MP3 file, and then from uh, the people will read it, sorry, listen it and then type. So this is quite like a lengthy job, I can say, and it need a lot of expertise. So with this AWS service, transcribe service, the one thing which is helpful, first thing is like it is timely available, means because it is automated system. When you provide the mp3 service, mp3 file, it will automatically convert and give you result and much faster. And also, as I mentioned, the model is like developed and tested a lot of time. So uh, the transcript which we get has accuracy, more accuracy, 99.99 accuracy, I can say, if the dialect which you are saying is matched. Okay, so this this will help into better analysis, like what exactly the medical things. For example, let me tell you this. For example, a patient called to uh, uh, dispensary and or might be to doctor office, and he said, I have this, I have headache, I have a pain in left hand side and something like that. And all of sudden, when this AWS service, suppose there is no doctor, but after like getting this communication from the client, it is transcribed into text and then send it to doctor will give or might be there in the background, there would be a model services which will provide a initial identification what exactly happened with the ML services. So that is quite possible. Okay, so this is one of the case. So in nutshell, like it will use in medical transcribe. Okay, the next thing is content generation. So nowadays, like if you see like whenever we are seeing any video on YouTube or anywhere, also in the bottom, or if we are seeing the movies, their subtitle is also coming. So the subtitle will help to increase, means this basically what exactly happened. uh, this transcribe like generate the media for the subtitle and video, and this generated metadata of this video, or what I can say, yeah, audio video, it will help into the search content. So it will help in the like generating the SEO, and you can determine the keywords and post. So those kind of thing that can related with the uh, subtitle and audio content generation. Okay, now the next use case is uh, customer service. So for example, like um, someone called to customer services for a recent example, like if you have insurance and you call to customer care, the customer care representative pick up your call, and then that call is recorded and it's sent to this AWS transcribe. Then from that conversation, it might be possible in the background, the insurance services determine what is the mood of that person. Means it will determine, it will do sentiment analysis. For example, it is the call is in aggression or with the happiness, means those kind of things would be happen. And uh, it it give you like a, not only like giving the sentiment data, but also the talk time, no talk time, loudness of the call, interpretation, and talk speed. So everything will be uh, like captured through this Amazon transcribe services. Okay, so this is one of the three major, I can say, use cases. But apart from this, there are various other use cases which we can discuss. So let's jump into another thing, which I would say features. So what are the features of these services? So the first feature which we already seen is real-time transcription. So as in the previous in few minutes ago when I was speaking, it is typing those things directly into the in front of you into text. Okay, so this is like is kind of real-time transcription, so that is quite possible. So when you someone called you on the same time, it is converting that call into transcription. So basically the real-time transcription is like a powerful in terms of it is like processing natural language. So in general sense it is called like NLP. So it convert the NLP model. So with the help of this, as I mentioned, like for the insurance or any other customer services, this will help into customers sentiment analysis and other data analysis. Okay, with the and once like we understand this call, so post call analysis which we can do, like where we can do sentiment analysis, issues, supervisors alert. Like for example, if some fraud statement is given, so um, with that ML model we can generate a case for supervisor. So those kind of thing which we can do in post call analysis. Then medical transcribe is already shared with you. Like we can convert the medical related stuff. I mean medical call or uh, speech by the doctor or the nurse or the patient into text format, and then do analysis and describe those. And then category management, obviously there are various items which we can categorize with the help of this transcribe services. Okay, so so far so good. Let jump directly into the demo now. Hopefully uh, you people understand what exactly is the transcribe services till now. So here, as I mentioned, so this is real-time analytics which I shared. Basically this is the real-time analytics. Then post-call analysis. So as I mentioned, you just whatever the call query is coming, you just create a category and upload into a S3 bucket, and then use that to analysis that. Okay, then the category management. So just a moment, re-log in, sorry about that. So again, like with the category management, you again create a category and describe what this transcribe is all about. Okay, so uh, let me give you a brief detail about this transcription job as well. So whenever like you are going to analyze any mp3, okay, so you need to create a job. So let me create a job for you real quick. So for example, I created a job called Indian.net job. Now here you can see there the audio language, you can like either give you a specific language or let or do it automatic language identification. Okay, so if you have anything in your mind, like this what this mp3 all about, you can give a specific language, otherwise you can go and do automatic language identification. Here you have the model type. So if you have any specific custom language model, you can create over here. So you might heard about that language in which one is the picture, Bahubali, in which there is a demon was there, and their language, the Kabila language was there. So you can create that Kabila language here with the custom language model. But so far, like if uh, you are like speaking either English or Hindi or any other common language, those can be provided in the general language. But uh, it is also giving you feature like you can create your custom language model. Okay, then there is or additional settings like if the job queue is option is there, if there are multiple files are there and you want, so you can create the job queues. Then input files. So as I mentioned, so generally this is like this AWS transcript services is providing you to this MP3, MP4, WAC, FLAC, OGG files options. So apart from this, there are no other files is entertaining with this AWS transcript services. But if you want to utilize that, you can convert into MP3, MP4 by various other source code which is available. For example, I have created this bucket Indiandotnet. Okay, and here let me go into the this file which we created last time and upload it. Okay, so we have given mp3 file, and then um, let's do next. So by default what will happen, and once you done with create the job, okay, so it will take some time to process this, and once this is processed you will get the text file. So basically JSON file which will give you the detailings. Okay, so till the time it is like uploading, means executing, let me refresh it just a bit. Hopefully, yeah, so it's completed. So language is English, language settings automatic detection, so model is general, so everything would be there. And once you click it, excuse, excuse me, so it process this file, input data file. And if you see over here, uh, this is what it provided. So this text it provided, so it's showing like whatever I spoke in that file, those things would be here in the text format. Okay, so audio detection you can provide, you can give a job, give something, some option over here. And then when you download the transcript, so it will provide you the JSON file. And then JSON file would be look something like this. Okay, so this is like the language code and then transcription. So this is how it goes. Okay, so far we have seen this thing into AWS environment. Okay, but if we want the same thing through our code, so as we are working in, as I mentioned, we are fan of C sharp. So let's, without wasting time, let's jump into C sharp and let me enlarge this for you. So in the last session, as I mentioned, we have to create AWS access key, AWS secret. Okay, and there are various other ways you can go to and authenticate this, but for the demo purpose we generally using this. So we created a simple function called transcribe karo. Okay, so the first and most important, go to management and search here AWS SDK dot transcribe. Okay, so I already did, that's why it's checked. But if you are creating from the scratch, you need to um, select it. Okay, apart from this, if although with this it already would be available, but if by any chance it is not in your code, try to add this AWS SDK core. Okay, then because sometimes the scope, if we increase the scope of this particular code, so you might need simple storage services as well. I will explain where we can use this. Because I did hard coded value, so I'm not using it explicitly, but in your case, if you are going to use it, so you must require that file as well, s3 file. So let me give you a quick detailing what this code all about. So in the last session also, we what we suggest, say we saw uh, we have to pass AWS access key, secret, and the region to create a client. So whether in the poly also we did the same, we created a AWS poly client, service client, in which we passed AWS access key, AWS secret key, and the region. Once this is passed, then we create a transcript job request. Okay, so in the transcript job request, what we are giving here transcript job name, because we are if you don't have any job already, so either you can pull that job, but if you uh, want to create a new job, you can do it through. So whatever we did through this create job from the screen, so this code particularly, it is doing the same thing. So what it exactly doing, it is giving the job name. So I given the job name, as I mentioned here, it should be unique always. Then settings, so you can see here we mentioned the mark speaker label 10 and show speaker label true. So what it means basically, if so if there are multiple people are in that mp3 or mp4 file, so this particular service will identify how many speakers are there. So it is currently like it can identify till 10 users and mark the label as well for those 10 users, like this is speaker 1 is talking and speaker 2 is talking. Okay, then the media, so media is our s3 file. Uh, so this is our s3 s3 file, bucket file, which we are given. So this is the bucket s3 Indian.NET bucket, and this is the file which we are given. Okay, then output bucket name, so it might be possible you want the output in the same bucket, for example Indian.NET bucket, or might be Indian.NET transcript bucket. So it's up to you, you can like change it also. Now once this request job is created, what we are going to do as we are going to execute this job. Okay, so and this job, once this job is executed, although I wrote here, but there is no sense because it is taking some time. So generally we need to wait for like till the time the job is completed. But for just a coding understanding purpose, what I did, I took the job response, and if it is okay, um, I'm trying to find the transcript language code. Okay, so let me run and debug it. So for example, so let's see uh, what it is doing. So firstly, what we are doing, we are creating a client. Once the client is created, we are creating a job request. So in the job request, we are saying the job name is Indian.net, which should pick up a file from Indian.net bucket. The file name is this, and output bucket name is this. Once that is job is created, we are saying like, okay, now the job is created, you should execute it. So the job is executed, and if you see the response is okay, so, because the transcript job is like taking time, it is not immediately completed. So you can see the job status in progress. So let it run. But from the code side, let me show you what exactly it is doing. Okay, so if I refresh, there should be a job should be created. Okay, so the job is created with the name of Indian.net, which we created from the code side, and it is processing the file uh, and giving the output at the location which we mentioned. So it is generating the transcript file here. So this is like the transcript file is similar to the file which we have seen earlier. Okay, so with this said, our demo is completed, and hope you like this particular AWS transcribe service. In case you have any doubt or any question, please feel free to drop an email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much. Next session would be on Friday again. And if you're not subscribed through our event page, then please do subscribe. Every Friday, we are going to take AWS services for this month and the next month. And after that, we are going to start uh, Azure services. So please feel free to subscribe these videos. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining.